Did the unbelievable. Let's be real, folks. This win over Mike Perry was anything but impressive. We've got the boxing world buzzing, and the experts are not holding back. They're calling out Jake Paul like never before. Let's dive in. Jake Paul walked into the ring against Mike Perry with all the hype and bravado we've come to expect. But when the bell rang, something was off. Perry, known for his aggressive style, seemed strangely subdued. This guy looked like a human punching bag in there, and it was humiliating. It was almost like he was there to collect a paycheck rather than win a fight. Many boxing legends, including Mike Tyson, Joe Rogan, Floyd Mayweather, and even the notorious Conor McGregor, were watching live, and they
try and get me
shared
a
their initial
1,000
reactions.
subscribers as
You
well. That
definitely
way,
don't
I'm
want
a
to miss
boxer. I want to show
Now,
my
normally you'd expect the pundits and the pros to
publicise
congratulate
what he
the
is.
problem
He's
child
a
on his win, but
gentleman
that's not
and
what
he's a
happened.
professional.
Let's talk about the real elephant in the room.
And that
Jake
teapot
Paul
looks
just coasted to
pregnant.
another win, but this one feels different. The boxing world is not happy.
Put weight
Listen,
on
we all
my
knew Mike Perry
backside.
wasn't exactly a boxing mastermind, but Jake picking him was like shooting fish in a barrel. It's obvious he's cherry-picking opponents, and the pros are calling him out hard. These guys are saying Jake is a fraud, a clown who doesn't belong in the same ring as real boxers. And you know what? It's hard to disagree. Jake's record is looking like a who's who of retired MMA fighters and washed-up basketball players. It's a joke. Where are the real challenges? Where's the risk? It's like he's playing a video game in easy mode. The boxing community is tired of Jake's circus act.
It's not.
They want to see him fight someone who can actually box. Until then, this whole thing is just a big, shiny distraction.
Money.
Conor McGregor was pumped for this fight. He saw Mike Perry as the wrecking ball that would finally crack Jake Paul's glass jaw. The Notorious was ready to pop the champagne, but now he's got a face full of sour grapes. Perry was supposed to be the equalizer, the guy to show the world that Jake's a fraud. Instead, Perry got knocked out cold. Can you imagine the rage? McGregor's gone from hype man to hot mess. He's so pissed he booted Perry from the BKFC. Yep, you heard that right. The Irishman is losing his mind. He's calling Jake a YouTuber who doesn't belong in the fight game. It's a full-on meltdown, and it's glorious to watch. But hey, Conor didn't just stop there. He also fired shots at Mike Perry. Take a look at what he tweeted. Hey, Mike, you're released and you can go and compete in your smelly, dirty boxing championship thing. The smell of it, good luck, you're fired. Dylan Dennis, the king of trash talk, couldn't resist chiming in on the Jake Paul circus. He started by absolutely roasting Mike Perry, calling him a bum, and saying he looked like he was high on helium. But he didn't stop there. Dennis went full-on attack mode on Jake Paul, calling him a fake fighter and a con man. According to Dylan, Jake's acting like he just beat Canelo Alvarez or something. He's running around like he's the next Muhammad Ali after knocking out a washed-up MMA fighter. Dennis is clearly enjoying every second of this. And honestly, it's kind of hard not to join the party. Dylan posted on X, "Hate me all you want, that was a pure striker who just got embarrassed. I'm a grappler. I stood my ground, never took a back step, no standing count, never dropped. F all your opinions. I didn't even train, just walked in there."
No, but you're barely.
Dylan Dennis also dropped this post, and even Conor McGregor had something to say about it. The weight difference. Jake only fights guys he's sparred with and knows he has a size advantage over. Stop giving this con artist attention. On the other hand, Jake Paul is on cloud 9 right now. He's convinced he's the baddest man on the planet. After knocking out Mike Perry, the guy thinks he's the new king of violence. He's running around like he just dethroned Tyson or something. But let's be real, folks. This guy is living in a fantasy world. The boxing world is laughing at him. I mean, beating up a guy who's clearly not a boxer doesn't make you a world beater. It's like winning a gold medal in the Special Olympics. It's great for your ego, but it doesn't mean you're ready for the big leagues.
But I just believe in my power so much. I put him down in the first round, but he just kept coming. So respect to Mike Perry. That's why he's the king of violence, former king of violence. I'm the new king of violence.
Jake Paul is on a serious ego trip right now. Don't get me wrong, I know he made Perry kiss the canvas, but that doesn't mean he's invincible. The guy is calling out everyone from Alex Pereira to Canelo Alvarez. It's like he's trying to prove something, but to who? The boxing world is just rolling its eyes.
Try to scare Mike Tyson.
He's the next Rocky Balboa after beating up a guy who looked like he was sleepwalking through the fight. It's
Mr.
embarrassing,
T.
really. Fans are starting to
He
see
was
through the
Muhammad
hype.
Ali's
Jake Paul
bodyguard,
might
you
be
know
good
that,
at
guys.
self-promotion, but his
Mind tell
boxing
that like
skills are
and
still
subscribe,
questionable.
please, if you
He needs to chill
appreciate
out
it.
and focus on actually improving
I
as a boxer
appreciate
instead
Mike.
of
I
running his
love
mouth.
Mike too much.
This win didn't cement his
I'm
status
80s
as a
now.
legitimate boxer, if anything.
And
It
a
just showed the
boxer.
boxing community how big of a clown
So
Jake
please show
is.
your respect.
This fight should have never happened. I mean, look at these guys.
Let me
It's
get
like
to
matching a
1,000
welterweight
subs
with a
so I can
cruiserweight.
stream.
There are weight classes for a reason, people. This
Yeah,
wasn't a
safety.
boxing match. It was a freak show. Even Michael Bisping, the ultimate realist, called it out. Jake Paul was walking around at like 220 pounds, while Perry was barely cracking 190. That's a huge advantage, and it's unfair. It's like putting a grown man in the ring with a teenager. No wonder Jake won. It wasn't skill, it was size and power. Let's be real here.
That was a farce. That was ridiculous. That fight should have never even taken place in the first place because it was a shit show. Jake Paul was by far the bigger guy, and as I said, there's weight classes for a reason. Now okay.
Shane Mosley Jr. caught the action live from the stands, and his initial reaction was priceless. Just wait till you see what he has to say.
Shane Mosley Jr., my God, this is fight hype. What you think of that, Mike? That
Man, it was
Jake Paul
crazy.
knockout?
It was crazy. It's what I thought it was going to be. Like Mike Perry's tough, and I thought it was going to take a while to get the knockout, but I thought he was going to.
Jake Paul set the tone right from the jump, dropping Mike Perry with a crazy overhand right in the first 30 seconds. And nah, it wasn't a lucky punch. Paul did the same thing in the next round. He put Perry down again, and everyone thought it was a wrap. But you know Perry's got that dog in him. You can never count him out. He came alive at the end of the second round, landing some hard shots on Paul. By the third round, things started slowing down for Paul. Perry's wild, dirty fighting style came into play, leaving Jake with a nasty cut on his head. It was getting really gritty out there. But hey, it's a boxing ring, and if you're placing bets, you gotta go with the boxer. Jake Paul found his rhythm again and started tearing Perry apart, punch by punch. Paul's precision and power were on full display in the fourth round. Perry was wobbling on his feet, barely hanging on. It was rough. Perry seemed to forget what defense was and turned into a human punching bag for Jake Paul. The fans were going wild, witnessing a fight that was as intense as it was thrilling. And not to take anything away from Perry, he's a legit threat, but in the BKFC and not in boxing. Let's be real, folks. Jake Paul is a master of self-promotion. He's a walking, talking, money-making machine. But when it comes to boxing, he's a paper tiger. His opponents, a who's who of washed-up athletes and reality TV stars. It's like he's playing in his own personal playground where the rules don't apply. Sure, he's got the knockouts, but let's be honest, these aren't exactly primetime opponents. It's easy to look good when you're fighting someone who's clearly out of their depth. The boxing world is starting to see through the smoke and mirrors. This isn't real boxing, it's entertainment. And Jake Paul is the biggest showman in the business. He's good at what he does, but let's not confuse showmanship with skill. Until he steps in the ring with a real boxer, not some reality TV has been, we can't take him seriously. Jake Paul might be filling up arenas, but he's doing it with spectacle, not substance. This is the end of the Jake Paul hype train. Now, unless the problem child proves himself against a seasoned professional, there's no room for him among the pros of the boxing world. He can pick up as many wins as he wants, but they don't mean anything as long as Jake's going after old and crusty dudes with no boxing background. Hold on to your hats, folks, because things are about to get even crazier. Jake Paul is actually stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson on November 15th at the AT&T Arena. Yeah, you read that right. The kid who struggles against YouTubers is now facing off against one of the greatest boxers of all time. Jake thinks this is his big chance to prove himself, but let's be real. This is a no-win situation. If he loses,
let's
he's just a guy who got knocked
Give me
out by
100,000 subs
if he wins, well, beating up a
Mike
60-year-old
Tyson.
doesn't exactly solidify your
But
legacy
when
as a
I mean
boxing
100,000
Jake needs to
because
stop
he's a
chasing
lost. I
headlines
know
and
Mike will
start
kill
facing
him.
real competition. Someone his own age, at the top of their game. That's how you prove yourself, not by fighting a washed-up legend. Well, I guess
Mike's
we'll have
no
to wait and
washed up.
see how everything
He's
plays
no
out.
legend. He is a legend.
So, there you go, Fight World. That's
He's a
all I
god.
have for you today. Paul's win.
Remember to hit
Fill
that
in the
like and
comment section with
subscribe,
your
guys.
thoughts.
It means
Don't
it goes
forget
a
to hit
long
that
way.
like